Stream should be live. I will give it a second for everything to catch up on the restream. It will take a second. Oh, everything says on. Everything says warning on Twitch. Why? Warning on Twitch. Why?
Why not?
Why? Oh well. We should be good to go here on everything. So I'm just going to keep talking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nerd Bacon podcast. It's Halloween. It's the scariest time of year. And we're here for the Nerd Bacon podcast, your weekly dose of bacon. Brought to you by NerdBacon.com, the finest place for video games and I don't know, like the meatiest news of video games on the internet, I guess.
And it's all kosher.
Right, it is kosher, yes. Make sure that we're live here. We should be live here on Twitch. It says we are. Fantastic. So, I'm a one-man show today, all right? My name is Jeff Roth. I am editor-in-awesome at NerdBacon.com. Normally, I'm joined by my compadres, Dave the Watchman and Level Up Justin. Dave's on vacation, and Justin might be joining us a little bit later, but he might still be drunk because he's a Boston Red Sox fan. So he's probably still celebrating the Red Sox World Series victory. But I am nothing if not resourceful. So, joining me, friend of the site, contributor to oldschoolgamingmagazine.com, Brad Feingold. Brad, my friend, how are you?
Hello. And my costume for tonight is the Fortnite gamer who has been playing for 23 hours.
Have you even tried Fortnite at all?
I hate that game with a passion.
Thank you.
I seriously do.
See, okay, here's my hate. I don't hate the game. I understand that the game is a good game and it caused... My problem is the fandom that's built around it. Mm-hmm. My problem is the cancer of society that this is causing because everyone won't stop doing the damn dancing. And it's really annoying.
And you know what? Last time I was on, I mentioned this. I thought I was going to like the game, but when at the game, first of all, it takes for how long to load onto the PlayStation 4, and I also tried to load it onto one of my Macs, and that just took forever. And then I was dumb enough to try and actually load it onto my iPhone. But you're playing, and what is it? You're skydiving or you're gliding for I don't know how long, 5-10 minutes. You land. Oh, look, there's a brick. Oh, look, there's a shovel. Oh, look, a bullet just went through my head, so the round is over. I just thought it was ridiculous. And when I went to Replay FX in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania a few months ago, I was just shocked by the factor of, people paid like close to $175, $180 for a 4-day pass to go in there and play some of the greatest retro games ever. And I think they had close to maybe 50 or 60 computers lined up, all playing Fortnite.
Exactly.
And it just killed me. It's just, I understand, they had at the one time they had Warcraft and they had Unreal and they had Diablo and, every game is going to have their fandom and their 15 minutes of fame. But this is just one game I could not get attached to. Overwatch, when I first did a beta, I first tried it in beta mode and I didn't like it. And then I returned it. I got my money back. But then like 2 months later, I went back and I was like, hey, wait a minute. This is actually pretty awesome. So I just couldn't catch on to the Fortnite hype. Yeah. I just couldn't.
I guess it might be a generation behind us. I've played some of it. I understand the... I get what grips people. Right now, my Battle Royale fixation is Call of Duty for the Blackout mode in Black Ops 4. I find it to be a more pleasant Battle Royale experience for reasons I've talked about on this podcast. But while we're kicking things off, welcome for joining us on twitch.tv/nerdbacon, mixer.com/nerdbacon. We're on YouTube at our NerdBacon site. Also, we're on Smashcast at NerdBacon as well. Also, we'll be on your audio fixations, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, whatever other place you get your podcast. We're probably there. You can take us with you in your pocket and put us directly into your ear holes.
no better place I want to be in somebody's pocket and in ear holes.
Exactly. That's the
it's awesome.
tagline of the podcast. Just take me in your ear holes. I've got my G Fuel with me, so you know it's going to be a good show. I got my NWO shaker with my Tropical Rain G Fuel going. I have been on G Fuel now for about a couple months. I really like it. It's I was a Red Bull fiend. I was a Monster fiend for the longest time. I will still do the Monster Javas for the morning, a little bit of caffeine coffee Monster fix. But I will say for everyday use, I will use G Fuel. I don't crash hard afterwards. It keeps me level, keeps me a little energized. It's like a 5-hour energy, but like not so intense. It's kind of a sustained 5-hour energy.
Might have to try that. I stopped drinking soda, so I'm going with clear, clean, refreshing water.
Oh,
yes, it's very clean, very refreshing.
I tried cutting soda out of my life, and I feel like I was detoxing. Like it was horrible. I hit rock bottom, and it was bad.
I do remember at a certain time, I don't know how we're talking about this, but when I was in college many years ago, I had gotten to a point where I was studying for finals and I started falling asleep. So I started doing stupid things like drinking Jolt Cola because it was all the sugar, twice the caffeine.
Right.
And I had three. Oh, yeah, it's back and it's troublesome. I had within about a half hour, I had 3 cans of Jolt and 2 Snickers bars.
Oh, man.
And I was doing some pretty stupid things. And because we're on a podcast, because we try to keep our language clean, I will edit the words here. And I was just doing very stupid things. I was actually going down the hallway with toilet paper, and I was going, hey, look, bowling for poop. And I just started throwing the toilet paper down the hall. And my roommate he grabbed me by the back of my shirt and he threw me, basically just pushed me back to the top of the bunk. He's like, sit down. And that was basically the end of it. I was basically shaking and wired up for a good 2-3 hours. And that day I actually finished Sewer Shark for the Sega CD.
Very nice.
Something I'm not really proud of, but I did finish that.
Hey, of things you could do while drinking Jolt Cola, that is a good thing to do.
That was a name dropper.
Yeah. Sewer Shark. Look that one up, kids. That's a packing game. Well, let's talk retro games here. While I got you on here as a retro games expert,
absolutely.
Let's bring up the fact that Sony is now getting into the classic lineup. And of course, we knew this was coming for a while, but now the full list of 20 games has been released. Of course, this thing launches end of November, I want to say it was.
End of November, yeah.
December 3rd.
December, yeah, right at the beginning of December.
For $100. And let's just go through the list of games we have here. So we have.
Do you want to say yes or no? Do you want to say yay or nay after you mention the names?
Well, first of all, I'm in on this. I think before we started talking, I think you had said you were kind of bummed. I'm way in on this, and I'll explain why once we get through this. So I want to make sure I get this right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. So Final Fantasy VII, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, Jumping Flash, Wild Arms, Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Grand Theft Auto 1, Intelligent Cube, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and Twisted Metal 1. Brad, since you are the guest, your thoughts.
Backing up to it and listening to it, I watched the video with all the videos that they were, or with all the games that they were showing. There's probably, I would say, about 4 or 5 that I could really care less about.
Okay.
I'm not saying that they're bad games. They're just not my type of games. I could the Siphon Filter, the Metal Gear games, especially, and we will get to that in a little bit later. The Resident Evil. I I will not play that for the life of me. But some of the games like Jumping Flash, that has got to be the weirdest, and I would say probably the lamest game. However, that was the first game I ever finished on the PlayStation.
Right.
And I loved it.
Yep.
It was weird to play, but I really enjoyed playing it. Battle Arena Toshinden, that was their, I call that their flagship.
Dude, that was the game.
That was revolutionary.
Yep.
That was before the
game that put the Saturn out of business before Saturn even got launched.
Mm-hmm. And that was that was the first fighting game, the first real 3D fighting game, wasn't it? Or for Sony at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Sony.
It was a launch game for PS1 that got everybody talking about the PS1.
Yeah.
Virtual Fighter came out before that, I want to say.
Yeah. Virtual Fighter came out before that, but if you compare the graphics between Toshinden and Virtual Fighter, sure. It's just gonna blow it away. Yeah. Oddworld, I loved Oddworld. Yeah. It was raunchy, it was fun at the same time. Rayman was another game I finished, and I really enjoyed that. To this day I still play the legacy, basically all the Rayman games. I still play it on my PlayStation 4 right now. Sure. Let's see, what else was there? And Mr. Driller, I never really got into that one. I think I saw that game for like $2 or $3 on the clearance shelf at Toys R Us at one time.
Toys R Us, that might be coming back.
Yeah, I know. That's what I heard. Just like Radio Shack is kind of sort of back, but they're not.
It's kind of hanging around.
they're lingering in other stores. Ridge Racer.
Mm-hmm. This is probably the best Ridge Racer 2.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's. Well, what can you say about that one? It's awesome.
Yeah.
What else was there? Back me up. Oh, Final Fantasy. Okay, look, again. It's Final Fantasy. If you're going to go through the entire collection of all the Final Fantasies that you're going to play on the PlayStation 1, there it is.
That's the one.
I don't like role-playing games.
Sure.
But I did play that for a little bit, and I was really happy with it. But I just can't get fully excited about the system, just because I guess I'm spoiled by the PlayStation 4. I'm used to having an analog controllers. Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna pick up the PlayStation controller, going, where is it?
Yeah. To be clear, this is the launch controller. This is the one that came out before the dual analog was a thing. So that's why they couldn't put like Ape Escape on there, because that relied so heavily on the dual sticks.
But yeah, that's another thing. Where's Crash Bandicoot?
Okay, so first of all, I'll get out of the way first.
What's your favorites?
I'm excited for this, and I was sold as soon as I saw Revelations Persona. For people who don't know what that is, that's Persona 1. Persona 5 came out last year. This is Persona 1. I just did a quick eBay search. The disc alone is over $100. That game, it's an Atlas game. It's rare. It's a hard game to find.
Yeah,
that's a game that came out on the PS. They released a PSP version of it, but that alone is worth the money. Then you throw on Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, which I love Puzzle Fighter. You throw on Oddworld. You throw on Intelligent Cube, which many people may not have played that game. It's a good puzzle game. Toshinden being what that was for the system, Final Fantasy VII, R4, Tekken 3, which I think is still outside of 7. I think if the best PS1 Tekken game is Tekken 3. So they chose the right one. And Wild Arms. If you are an RPG lover, that's where you want to go. Twisted Metal 1, good call. Cool Borders 2,
forgot about that one. Yeah.
Questionable. There are better games than Cool Borders 2. They had to fill in with some sports stuff. I get it. Metal Gear Solid, duh, slam dunk. Resident Evil, yeah, slam dunk. Rainbow Six, question. Like that? Okay, fine. I guess you need more shooters on there. I get it, but
need some espionage in there.
Sure, I think it's a good mix. You got racing, you got sports, you got RPG, you got puzzle games. It's a good mix of games on here. So I'm way into. I may end up buying one mainly for Persona 1 because I'm such a Persona fan. Like Persona 5 was so good, Persona 4 was so good. I might get this just for Persona. GTA, okay, I can see where they're going with that. Is here's the origins of this amazing series, but I prefer GTA 2. I kind of wish Tony Hawk was on this, but that's another thing.
The only argument behind that, though, is that Tony Hawk was across the board, though.
Sure, right.
Because it showed up on the Dreamcast, and if I can recall right, it also showed up on the, I don't want to say Super Nintendo, but the N64.
Well, I mean, Rainbow Six and everything too, and GTA too. But
yeah,
I hear you for sure.
Yeah.
To get to the question about where's Crash, where's Spyro, because
especially Spyro, yeah,
because those collections are out. I think they did this the wrong way. I think if this would have came out before the Insane trilogy or before the Spyro Reignited trilogy, that would have been preferable. I think they may have got their marketing flipped here.
Yeah.
If the Insane trilogy and Spyro was not coming out and this came out before that, that would have been ideal. Then you would have seen Crash Bandicoot and Spyro on this to help sell the remastered trilogies. I think that's where those lied, is because they're already out in more HD form. But I'm with you. I kind of wish that Crash Bandicoot 1 at least put on. I have so many memories of Crash Bandicoot 1 on the PS1. It was their mascot. It was their Mario. So it's weird to not see any Crash influence. Even Crash Team Racing, which I thoroughly loved. It's surprising to see no Crash on.
And I've gotten
if that's because now Crash is on Nintendo and Microsoft platforms.
And I've gotten into a few arguments online with some groups saying, well, Crash really wasn't Sony's mascot. Crash was just Crash.
Sure.
I was like, no, not really, because he was a representative of Sony.
Did you see the commercials of the dude in the suit? That's Sony.
Yeah.
That's
Sony.
Yeah.
I just and when they do the oh no, they didn't do that. I was thinking of the where they did the Olympics thing, but Crash wasn't part of that.
Oh,
it was just Sonic and Mario. Yeah.
I think I kind of wish they would have Crash on there, Spyro on there. I like Siphon Filter on there. I like Siphon Filter a lot. What other games could have been on there, I guess? I mean, Wipeout. Kind of wish that Wipeout was on the Jet Moto.
Oh, yeah.
Other big Sony titles on there. We got, for sure, Jet Moto and Wipeout. I think those are better racing games, but...
Wipeout had the best soundtrack.
Oh, Wipeout's soundtrack was awesome. I'm glad, though, that of Ridge Racers, they chose R4. Maybe Gran Turismo couldn't be on there because licensing issues, maybe. Like car manufacturer licenses, and maybe some aren't around anymore. Maybe Pontiac's not around anymore, and there's some companies that would be in that game that don't exist, so it'd be kind of hard to get those. But I don't know. I think it's solid. I think it's a solid lineup, and I'm more interested now by this lineup. I'm interested in picking this up now, even with buying the AC adapter separately.
Yeah, it's I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, the AC adapter is separate.
Really? That'll catch you.
Yeah.
The fun conversation I hear is, can we hack this thing so we can play N64 games? That's my favorite conversation. Is that everybody keeps asking, can this system support N64? Right? I think it's just funny. So, but no, in regards to Sony PlayStation, I think it's going to be a good buy for anybody who has not been exposed to Sony PlayStation. Period.
Right.
Anybody who collects the Sony PlayStation stuff, perfect exposure.
Sure.
If you have the Sony PlayStation Now for the PlayStation 4, on the fence, because you can easily download that stuff already.
Sure. I'm trying to go through this to see what games I actually have in physical form. I have FF7, I have R4, I have Tekken 3, I have Toshinden, I have Cool Wars 2 for some reason. I bought a lot that came with it. Destruction Derby, GTA, Metal Gear Solid, Puzzle Fighter, Siphon Filter, Rainbow Six. I have a lot of these games already on physical copy.
Oh, they forgot Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, they forgot Parappa the Rapper. But I think the problem is latency. If you're dealing with
punch, it's all in the mind, though.
Punch, it's all in the mind. It's but right now in its form probably unplayable because of the latency, because of input lag. I have a copy of Jammer Lammy. I tried playing that.
Oh man, there's another one. Yeah.
I tried playing that on my HD TV. I can't do it. It's just the input lag is so bad. You need to play those on a CRT. Even the remastered Parappa is hard to play on a PS4 because they didn't figure in the input lag there either. So I think putting it on here would be kind of impossible.
Huh. I didn't even think about the turnaround time for that at all.
If they're going to put it on, if they were going to put it on, they need to fix the input lag, and that's a problem. But anyway, it's
just a little one.
This thing it's small. It looks cool, and for somebody who I was a huge PS1 fan, like that was. I remember the day I got it for Christmas. My folks got it for me I think it was 90. God, it was 96 when I got it for the Christmas of that year, and I got it for a Christmas gift, and I sat there all day playing just the worst games on it. I was playing like 2 Extreme and Space Jam and Street Fighter the movie and like WWF in your house. Like I was playing just the real crap. I had Crash Bandicoot, so there's that too. But
sorry, you really name dropped the Street Fighter the movie.
I did.
Okay.
I actually have 2 copies of it now. I have 1 copy for the PS1 and 1 copy for the Saturn. That's how invested I am in Street Fighter the movie.
That's our show for tonight, folks. Thanks for watching.
Oh God. What's weird is that there's a Street Fighter the movie. They didn't make a Mortal Kombat movie game.
Because they were smart.
They made a Double Dragon movie game.
Oh my God, yeah.
But anyway, and of course Japan's getting a different version of it, which is going to add like Arc the Lad and Parasite Eve and Saga Frontier.
Yeah.
Also, I think they're going to add stuff from the Net Eurose, which is like that's the. I wish that I could get my hands on the Japanese one. There's some cool stuff on the Japanese copy, but I would need like have a translator on the side, or I wonder if that one's the Net Eurose color, because I think those are black. Because the developer, the developer PS1s were blue, and the Net Eurose, I believe, was black.
That's kind of going over my head. that's one thing. That's something that you and Dave could probably talk about for hours on end. I'm sure.
Probably, because I remember seeing those things going, "Ooh, I want one." Or maybe it's backwards. But I remember, like, I wish I had a different colored PS1. But I love them. The PS1. As much as a Dreamcast fan as I am, and we'll sit here and say Dreamcast is my personal favorite console of all time, the PS1 I have spent the most time with. And just my library is the biggest on it. I spent so many hours playing Metal Gear Solid and Siphon Filter, Twisted Metal and Jet Moto, and I just spent so much time on PS1.
Did you ever have to turn your PS1 upside down to make sure that the blades? Oh, really?
Dreamcast I had to. PS1 didn't have to.
And that was the last thing. The last PS1 I had to do that. I had to turn it upside down to make sure that it was reading. Right. And I knew that it was dying, and I was kind of depressed.
And that was kind of the first of the redesigns. That PSONE, the smaller one that came with the built-in screen, was kind of neat. But by that point, I think I moved on. At that point, I think PS2 is already out.
Yeah.
I think at that point I moved on to the PS2, and I prefer the big PS2 as opposed. Like I have a smaller PS2, like the real tiny PS2.
The thin one.
Yeah, those things suck. Like that laser gave out so fast.
Yeah, I picked one up at a garage sale for $5, and I think I turned around and sold it for $35.
Nice investment.
God bless Craigslist. You know.
I got a Genesis Model 2 and a Model 3. The Model 2 is the best one because that would fit in that monstrosity of the Genesis Sega CD 32X. That would fit the best in there. Yep. With the Model 1, you had to put the clips into the main part to put the 32X in there. And then the CD came with an adapter. But if you had the Model 2, it all fit perfectly. And then Model 3 was just a piece of plastic. I don't know how that thing ran because it was just like that big for a Genesis. What the hell is in this thing?
Yep, actually, those I do remember. At first, you have to be a rocket scientist, and then you just have to be a kid. Yeah. It's awesome.
And then it breaks. And you buy the next one. And you buy the Saturn. All right. Any more thoughts on the PS1 Classic before I move on to drooling over Red Dead Redemption 2?
Let's see. I'm not drooling. I'm still trying to save up money for a Switch. That's where I'm gonna lie.
Sure. Now you can get a Switch or a Switch Pro.
God, there's that conversation again. I don't even. When is the Switch Pro supposed to? Because after I was on last time and you were talking about all that stuff that's coming out online. Mm-hmm. I actually I saw all the video and all the stuff that they're announcing. and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, do I see? It's you have the money saved up from selling your stuff on Facebook and Craigslist, but do you have to save up more? It's what's really going to be the difference. It's when the new system comes out, it was the same conversation. Am I going to have a new system to play the new games? That was the argument that we had before. It's like when you have the Xbox One, and then you have the Xbox One S. Mm-hmm. The games aren't for the Xbox One S; they're still for the Xbox One.
Right.
But like if they came out with the Xbox 2 and the games come out for the Xbox 2, are you going to be able to do you have to have the Xbox 2 to play?
I imagine what they'll do with this is sort of like what they do with the new 3DS. And the fact where, hey, this upgraded hardware is going to run better, load times faster, it'll look better on bigger TVs or better TVs, but there might be specific games made for that, but you should be able to play all your stuff between the two of them before they kind of just transfer stuff over to the new one. I think they want to wean people off of the old one to get out the new one on the 3DS, but that's just my way of thinking on that based on Nintendo's past.
So I should, just wait a little bit. I don't know. It's not till first or second quarter of next year, though, isn't it?
I'm gonna say I would think the earliest we'll see it, if I'm predicting from what my insiders are telling me, spring or summer of next year. I would think, with the PS5 not too far behind it.
I heard about that too. It's like, okay, do I get rid of my PS4 now? Well, I still can.
If there's some good trade-in deals, then you may have my attention. But that's why I would upgrade my Switch, is if I get some incentive to. I've been playing a lot of Smash on it. When Smash comes out in December, I've been playing a lot of it on there. So it better be a worthwhile upgrade for me to do that.
Now, but before we get to Red Dead, I do want to ask something about that. Yes. Best Buy was promoting this week that actually came out. It comes out this Friday. That there's two versions of the Switch that comes out. There's one that comes out with Diablo 3, and then there's one that comes out with Smash. But that doesn't make sense because Smash doesn't come out until December.
I wonder if there's a Smash-themed console that basically all it is just that the dock has the characters on it.
And maybe you get the download code or something like that?
Perhaps. Yeah, okay, so I'm looking right now. So the Switch Ultimate Edition released it on November 2nd.
Which is Friday, yeah.
So this will come with the branded Joy-Con, the dock, and a download code for Smash when the game launches on the 7th.
Of December.
Right. So you're basically pre-ordering Smash when you buy this system.
Okay, so it's not. I don't have to rush out and buy it today, or rush out and buy it Friday.
They may not last very long, I think, because we know how Nintendo is with their allocations, and with something as big as Smash, this may sell quickly. It's $360. What is going for right now?
Meh.
Because it's the system and the game, so it's
yeah. Yeah.
But yes, that's why it's coming out now. You're basically pre-ordering Smash in full when you pick that up.
Okay, that sounds fair. I completely understand that.
It's smart because people will.
It comes out right before Christmas, so that's completely a smart thing to do. So
yeah.
So, all right. It's just about before 9 o'clock, and you have to go to bed at probably 2 o'clock, and I'm sure people that are listening and watching have to go to bed soon too. So we only have a few hours left of the show, so we're gonna. No, I'm just kidding. I guess if you'll allow me to do this for you, ladies and gentlemen, I have to. So he has to go to the bathroom because he has to get ready for this. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to inform you that. that he has now become a traitor to the Spider-Man game. He is no longer playing Spider-Man. Did you finish Spider-Man?
No, I did. I got to chapter 1 and then I fell off the map.
You stopped playing.
I had to move on to other games. I got games to review, man. I got games to play.
I don't believe this.
I'm going to go back to it, though, because that game I want to beat before the end of the year.
Yeah. But anyway, there's this game that has been, I don't know, it's kind of rumored to come out for, I don't know, just a couple years. And you in thug mode called Grand Theft Auto. And what's that? It's called Red Dead Redemption 2. And apparently you can get this for the PlayStation 4. You can get this for the Xbox One. If you've been online, you can see that you can get it for your PC with like 50 or 60 3.5-inch discs. Right. It's hilarious. But anyway, so I'm not going to. Yeah, PC, of course, a PC port is always coming for these games. But I'm not going to do a lot of talking about this game, except right here at the beginning, unless he says something that I might interject. But because I have not played the game, he's just going to keep flashing the game. I'm just going to give my 2 cents worth about this, and he's going to correct me if I say wrong. You have an Xbox One also? Jeez Louise, how many systems do you have? Anyway.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. Okay. Basically, what I've been told, and it's wrong, is basically if you've played Grand Theft Auto, it's like Grand Theft Auto, but it's 100,000 times better than Grand Theft Auto. This is basically like Grand Theft Auto, but it's placed in the Old West. Now, I do remember playing Red Dead Redemption 1. I do remember playing that, and it was a very awesome game. There's a couple other games that were very close to the style of this game. And it was a very good game, and I got tired of waiting for this game. That's why I moved on. Maybe I should have waited just a couple more days. I don't know. But I've been watching on Facebook, and I've been seeing some videos. There is one video I think is probably the funniest video based on this game. If anybody has seen the movie Blazing Saddles, it is not funny. It is not funny to hit an animal. No. That being said, this is a hilarious clip that I have seen where basically it says when you have not mastered all of the controls for a new game, it shows a guy getting off of a horse, going up to the horse's face and actually punching the horse in the face. And then the horse turns and kicks him in the groin and then kicks him in the face, and then the horse runs off. It is the funniest thing. And I cannot remember how many times I watched that last night. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. That being said, I'm going to go have a beer. No, I'll just sit here and listen. This guy will not shut up about it. This is all he wanted to talk about tonight. This and horror games. I don't know, but we're going to hear about Red Dead Redemption 2, the Western version, and action.
Everybody sit down. Let's by the campfire. Let's talk. This. I got the Ultimate Edition. It's $100. This is the special steelbook case that came with it. Looks real nice. This game came on 2 discs. It's 2 discs on Xbox One or PS4. This thing is 107 gig large. This game, Red Dead Redemption 2, is one of my favorite games of all time already. I have put about 15 to 20 hours into it thus far. I've only scratched the surface of this game, I feel. Because that says I'm a quarter of the way through the story. Where do I even begin? This game is about 7 years in development. If I can compare the first Red Dead to a John Wayne movie, like the John Wayne True Grit, or those spaghetti westerns, then Red Dead 2 is more of a Clint Eastwood, Unforgiven, Tombstone. Is that The Quick of the Dead? Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is more like the '90s Western. This is a you had said that it was a GTA with horses, and the first one was kind of that way. The second one, the pacing of it is what sets it apart from GTA. GTA is more fast-paced action, cars flying by, helicopters, airplane. This is methodically slow. You walk slow. The story is slow, and that in no way is a slight against the game. It forces you to take everything in, and it's as much a Western game as it is a sandbox, a life simulator. It does so many things. There are mechanics on mechanics on mechanics, and this is an open world game where you don't see the seams, and that is impressive. It's first of all, the game looks gorgeous, even on my 1080p TV on my launch Xbox One. It looks gorgeous. The sunlight, the sunrise, the sunset. I've taken pictures because it is gorgeous. You are so this is a prequel to the first game. You are taking control of the Vanderlind gang, and you spend most of your time in this roving camp. You pick up from the mountains. You escape a robbery gone wrong. You go to the mountains, escape it, and then you find sanctuary back in the wilderness, and you spend a lot of your time there upgrading your camp, so you can supply, you can get better food for the camp, better medicine, better ammunition for the camp, happiness levels, all that stuff. You spend so much time there. It's a nice little slice of life, and you can see how the rest of the gang interact with each other. You can see their day-to-day life. You just want to sit by the campfire and take it all, and it's really cool to do that and just kind of hang around. And like when you're in camp, you can't even run. As Arthur Morgan, this is the main character, you can't even run in the camp. It's forcing you to savor the moment, which is you're not pressured to. You want to see more of this. And I just you have like when you get your horse, you raise your level of horse bonding, so like he'll carry more stuff and he'll like you more, and you can do like horse drifting, like you're freaking Fast and Furious on a horse and do like a Tokyo drift on your horse. And like you can buy horses, upgrade horses, put your saddles on them. The saddle will carry 3 of your outfits. And like I compare this to you've know of Breath of the Wild. There are mechanics in there that are really cool, but they feel tacked on, like the weather stuff. Here, they feel perfect. Like if you go into the mountains, you better have a coat. That makes sense. If you're not bundled up, you're gonna lose some. Your health will deteriorate over time. Your horse can carry outfits with you, so you can have your cold outfit, your warm outfit with you on your horse. You'll also carry guns and ammo, and if you go hunting and you hunt down a deer, you can bring the carcass back on the horse and the pelt on the horse. You can craft with that. Like the facial hair will grow over time, and you can only trim it. You can't like grow more hair. You can just trim it. I'm letting him kind of just grow a mountain man beard. Hopefully it will get to that level. If you want to kill some time while you're in town, you go play poker. You go play 5-finger fillet. You go play blackjack in the town, or just do some shopping, or just explore. Like there's so much to do in this game. I can't even begin to describe it, but it does separate itself from GTA in the fact that it's a slower paced game. You're not in it to just grab the next car and flee the cops. You're in it to just take in the wildlife and take in what's around you and the chance encounters. Like I ran into a prospector by the water. It just popped up and it just blinked on my minimap to go over to this prospector. I just was hanging around, saw what he was doing, like, okay, what are you doing? I greeted him, because you can greet anybody in the game. You pull the left trigger, and it'll pull up if you want to antagonize or greet, because the whole Paragon meter, play honorable, dishonorable. And I'm trying to be honorable, the honorable thief. So I'm greeting everybody. So I greet him. He gets mad. Starts punching me for no reason. So I kill him. He's attacking me.
That's honorable.
Self-defense. He's attacking me. So my punches kill him, and I pick up his body, just dump him into the water, and just floats down the river. I saw one guy who got bit by a snake, I guess. And he said he had venom in his leg, and he said either suck the venom out or give me some medicine. I gave him some medicine. So I cured him. I went back into town. He's there, remembers what I did, and he says, "Okay, do you want to go? You can go into the gunsmith, get one free gun on me." So I got a free gun out of it, and that was like the next day in the game world. That's like the next day that he was having to be in town, and I got a free gun because I did something nice for him. Like the story arcs, just even the small ones, just there. I will say I have some gripes about the game. Not a perfect game. My biggest gripe is they show your health and your stamina and your horse health and horse stamina in like these little circles above your minimap. There's the outer ring and then the inner core. That's too complicated. I'm spending too much time looking at that and say, okay, do I need to heal? Do I need to drink? Do I need to eat food? Do I need to I'm looking at that as opposed to keeping my eye on the action. And it can be kind of hard to read sometimes. Also, plenty of times I've just been ambushed by a gang and just died out of nowhere. Like I'm just going to town, and then here come the O'Driscolls. Oh, let's get him! And then like 3 shots, I'm dead. I'm like, oh, okay. I could have. I'm not mad that I could have done it better. I could have handled myself better, but it's always tense, which is kind of cool. But I could sit here and talk all day about this, and I might do a proper Red Dead podcast on my own at some point. But this game is becoming one of my favorite games of all time, just because of you talk about games with worlds you want to live in, with that immersion. I have not been immersed in a world as much as this, and it's the fact that it looks stunning. There's so much to do in it, and you can't see the seams. You can seamlessly transition from just walking into the camp. All of a sudden, here's John Marston from the last game talking to you. You have a quest, or you have a mission to do, and it's just. And I'm only on chapter 2. I think I don't know how many chapters there are. I'm on chapter 2. I'm 25% of the way through the game, and I'm put 20 hours into it. So this game will last me until forever. And then next month, online's coming out, which I think it's coming out in beta form. I think next month. I imagine they'll do something GTA Online style and do like an MMO style with it. I'm assuming. But I'll look forward to seeing how they do online, because that could be a whole other thing.
I was going to ask about that. If they were going to say, okay, you can get together and do gangs, you know what I mean, like rowdy gangs or whatever they are. So
you can do heists. You can rob trains together. I'm assuming you can. I mean, there's got to be the concept of gangs, kind of like clans in other games. You have your gang. You can roll up on a train and rob. I'm assuming there's I'm assuming if you can do it in GTA Online, you could probably do it in Red Dead Online, as far as the core mechanics go. I'm assuming there'll be deathmatch, team deathmatch. I'm assuming there'll be a battle royale mode at some point there too. There's got to be. So I'm looking forward to that. But right now, I can't stop playing this game because I just want to live in this. I want to get that next horse. I want to customize my gun. I want to get that next coat and look good I want to see my beard. I want to take him and bathe, because you have to bathe or else you will smell. There was the first bar fight I got into. I got into a bar fight. It was a scripted bar fight. It's part of the linear progression. But I got into a bar fight, and it spilled out to the outside. And it happened to be at night. It's raining. There's mud all over it's no pavement, obviously. There's mud everywhere. There's, it's raining. And me and this big guy get into a fight. He knocks me down in the mud. I'm covered in mud. I'm even covered, like my hat goes flying. I'm covered in mud. And that continues through the cutscene. Like the mud's a little dried in the cutscene, but he's still just covered in mud. And so I have to go and bathe to get the mud off me. And it's the small, and you'll see this word in every review of Red Dead. You will see the word detail and details all over it, because it's the attention to detail. It's the little things that make this game what it is. Like the fact that if I shoot a deer and I pick up the carcass, his blood is on my shoulder. And if I go into the river, I can wash it off. Like, and if the rain comes, it'll wash off. And again, more just living in the world. There was this guy drinking whiskey by the campfire, just by himself. He was having a little bit of PTSD, because he was in the war, and he came home to nothing, that kind of deal. And he's sitting there drinking whiskey, so I hand him a whiskey bottle. I sat down a stool next to him. He falls over dead. Like, he's just sitting there, just drunk, and he just falls. I loot him. Like, I grab whatever he had in his body and walk away. But it's just the little things of this game, on top of the big things, that this game is a masterpiece, and you can tell that they put in the hard work. The 100-hour weeks that I don't think actually are true, but they're exaggerated, I'm sure. But a lot of people put a lot of time and love into this game, and it shows. And I cannot wait to get back in my hands and start playing, keep playing it. 'Cause I can get lost in this game. This is one of the first games I can get totally lost in.
That's good. Unfortunately, at the beginning of your review, you just revealed I can't play that game. So I will pick the game up again. Where's the case? Open it up. Or open it up again.
Okay.
And there you have it. It's a 2-disc game.
Yeah.
Which means that there's probably going to be a lot of memory needed for the hard drive.
Well, it's 107.
When I've got Overwatch and Spider-Man and Pinball and Mutant Football League on my hard drive, I've got no room for that stuff. It's
external.
Maybe I need a bigger hard drive. But
yeah, I know. Hard drives.
I know.
This second disc is just for install purposes. So you put the first disc in, flip to the second one, finish the install. That first is all you need to play it.
I actually might try it. I learned my lesson from Spider-Man. I may just rent it and see how I like it. So it sounds like it's good. Do you get to go into a brothel?
I haven't been there yet. I haven't tried yet.
And you call yourself a gamer.
I haven't tried yet. I'm assuming there's ladies of the evening, because it's a Rockstar game, but I haven't tried that yet. When you do bathe, you can get the deluxe bath, and a lady will come in and help you bathe.
Wow, wow.
He's fully clothed. Not like that. I'm not
sure. All right, I don't want the game.
But this game's absolutely incredible, and
good deal.
I am jaw-dropped, shocked, and in awe of how
well worth the 7-year wait.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good.
Worth the delays, everything, like this masterpiece. M is for mature, and M is for masterpiece.
Good. I'm glad you like that. That's very cool.
I just game. Anyway.
That's good. Good review. I thought it was going to be longer, but I'm okay with that.
Again, I'm trying to keep the podcast about an hour and a half at some point, so I could talk for hours about Red Dead, and I might do my own Red Dead podcast at some point, but it is just that good.
No, that's okay. Can we talk about a couple other recent releases?
Sure, I've had it.
Well, a couple weeks ago, there was a pinball release. Mm-hmm. Pinball FX 3, or I got to make sure I got that right.
We're on 3 right now, I believe.
Yeah, they're on 3. Originally, Farsight had a good hand on all of the pinball licenses, like the Twilight Zone and Star Trek Next Generation and Medieval Madness and some of the other classics.
The Bally Midway or the Williams ones?
they had a hand on a lot of them. It wasn't just Williams; it was Bally, it was Stern, and at the end of June, they actually at the beginning of June they announced there was a whole library of games that they were no longer going to support at the end of June. So if you wanted those games, you had to take advantage of it within the month of June. I was dumb enough and I didn't take advantage of those games at all. But Zen, a company that has done mostly, I don't want to say mostly, but they do games for the iOS devices,
right?
For Android, for Android, for Apple devices. They what they have a habit of doing is they have a habit of creating their own tables for Star Wars. For I've taken a look through the library. They do a lot of Steven Spielberg movies, and they've done the Aliens. They do a lot of some of the classic TV ones like Family Guy. My brain is just shutting down here. But they do a lot of different ones. But recently, what they did was they released a new collection of Williams classics,
right.
And the classics have 4 different tables. One of them, the first one is actually a free table of Fish Tales, which was a classic table back in the day, and they have also got 3 other tables. But you do need to pay for those tables. It's Medieval Madness, Junkyard Dog, and hi, my name is Brad. My brain just shut down. Medieval. Hold on a second. Williams Pinball.
Research on the fly, folks.
I know, right? Zen. Top Gear.
There we go. Okay.
Top Gear. Yeah. So $9.99. That is all you're paying for, and you're basically paying for 3. You're paying for 4. You're pretty much paying for 3 tables. Now, how it's different from the I'm not saying that the Stern tables are bad, because I love the Stern tables. In fact, I always go back to the Stern tables. Right. But how it compares to the other tables is, first of all, there's a lot more 3D atmosphere involved, and you can actually turn the 3D atmosphere off if you find it too distracting. But in the end, they really do follow what the games really were in the arcade. There have been some gripes about the game because of censorship.
Sure.
But they did the censorship because they wanted to appeal to everybody. And and I'm actually working on a review right now, so I'll give a sneak peek. My review is in regards to censorship. Who cares? The censorship issue is you're playing a game on a TV, or you're playing a game on your Switch or whatever. You're just dealing with computer graphics. You've got they're complaining. People are complaining about, like, when you're playing Medieval Madness. There's a part where the ball goes up to the tower where the maiden is, and then if you do it twice, then it says censored because there's something that goes on up there. And then apparently there's some artwork in Fish Tales where there's a woman in a bathing suit, but you can actually see something. There's a couple 4-letter words here, and they're like very light 4-letter words from what I heard. You're really not paying attention to it when you're playing pinball. If you had the actual machine in front of you, the some odd $1,000 machine, I can understand being upset about something like that. But if you're playing a digital copy of the game, don't worry about it. That's not why you're playing the game.
I think having the option,
they're actually going to be.
Would not be a bad
I'm sorry.
idea.
Well, I would say yes. The option is not a bad idea, but it's not like Mutant Football League where you can actually turn the turned the swearing and the violence down
At
to
that point,
off.
why are you playing it?
Yeah, but it's just a couple things that they wanted to make sure that that the whole game appeals to everybody.
Sure.
Because there's so many tables out there. I think there were too many tables to count. But I was very impressed with with what Zen has done with the tables. I love the tournament modes because you're not, unlike the Far Side, you're actually playing a lot more people. There's a lot more pinball tournament challenges. You can play a 5-minute mode. You can play a 3-minute mode. You can play a 1-ball mode. The tournament mode is just incredible. They're supposed to be releasing more collections coming up, and I'm willing, ready and willing to drop another $10 down for the tables.
Sure.
Are they the best tables in the world? It's digital pinball, for crying out loud, and it's a great time. Is it better than Red Dead Redemption? No, it's not. I don't think anything could be better than Red Dead Redemption from what you were talking about
right now.
But but I mean, that was just released just a few weeks ago, and I was extremely happy about it. The other thing that was just released as of today, best time to release it, Halloween, Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition.
Yep.
If you have taken a part of the Kickstarter campaign, you get to go online and get this for free. So if you had it for
if you bought it on Steam, I bought it on Steam on some sale like last year.
Yeah. Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox, that it's all available for the upgrades are going to be for free.
Yeah.
However, in stores, the game is in stores now.
Right.
So you can actually buy the physical copy of it. And I don't know what's attracting me to do it, but I want to buy the physical copy.
It's just it's what that game represents. Is the hard work of it's been a Kickstarter for a long time, and it's something that like people of our generation loved that Genesis game. I have a copy of Mutant League Football, which is a rare thing to find, but people love that game, as they should. And this is a love letter to fans. This is kind of why I have my copy of Duke Nukem Forever. It's not the game. Don't compare the games. It's what it represents. It's the fact that I was promised a game for so long. I finally got it. I want proof that it actually exists. This year, it's been in development for so long, and something that means so much to so many people of our generation that it makes sense to have an actual copy of it in your hand.
Is it me, or has this been the year of promises?
Yeah. So
we've been promised. We're finally promised Spider-Man. We're finally promised Red Dead Redemption. We're finally promised Mutant Football League. We're finally promised a Switch. It's just all these promises they're coming true. But back to the Mutant Football League with the Dynasty Edition, there are a lot more additions to this game now, and to make it even more fun. Everything that was downloadable before is in this game now.
Right. And
when you get the physical copy or the downloaded copy, it's going to have it there. So with the Dynasty mode, you actually get to become. Now I have not fully played the game yet because I don't know if you see this, but I actually have an injury here.
You have an outlet.
Yeah, it's actually a third-degree burn. And it does prevent, it does prevent me from playing. The Dynasty mode actually gives you become not just the coach, but you become the general manager of the teams.
Right.
And you can win multiple championships. And I'm just reading the descriptions here. And you win the championships, you become the league's next dynasty. It includes roster management. You work on the team salary caps, custom playbooks, player trades, cumulative player XP, free agent signups, multiple season gameplay. There's new races. There's you get to play with the rampaging werewolves, hellspawn demons, skeletal deadheads, armored bruiser bots, criminal aliens, mutated humans, monstrous orcs. The multiplayer options, you get to go from 2-player to 4-player now for 4-player local.
Sure.
That's gonna rock. There's more fields. There's Hall of Fame Tim Kitzrow, God bless this guy. He is just,
man.
If anybody, next to John Madden, if there's anybody to commentate a game, it's Tim Kitzrow. It's you can't beat Tim Kitzrow, and I would love to see Tim and John just commentate a game together. But Tim
Kitzrow, open invite on the show, please. Like he's on my bucket list, people to interview.
He's ready.
If he can somehow get on this podcast, I would die a happy man if I could talk to the voice of my childhood and speak to Tim Kitzrow.
We just got to set up a time. That's all we got to do. Is just set up a time that he's working. But I mean, today's probably not the day because they've got launch day.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Also, there's like 9:00 our time. So
So there's they still have the dirty tricks. They still have multiple play modes. Post play mayhem. It's just ridiculously fun. If you like football,
this game is great.
If you like football, if you like blood, mayhem, and just don't want to take the game seriously, Mutant Football League is the game to play. The end.
And you get a lot of stuff for what you're paying for.
Yeah, it's actually it says players who already own the game can pick up the Dynasty fully loaded bundle for $10.99. Don't know what that means. But I think if you were part of the Kickstarter, you can get it for free though.
Okay.
So
I wonder. My copy on Steam took an update today, so I don't know if I got everything or if I need to upgrade it for like $10, which I'll do gladly because that game's worth it.
Yeah, but the game is actually $29.99 for PC, Steam, PlayStation 4, Switch. That's kind of one reason why I'm kind of leaning towards a Switch because I would love to just have that puppy in my hand.
Oh yeah.
It was
for
just
$30, you're getting a lot of stuff. So that's an easy sell on that one.
So it's totally an awesome game. So I had talked to them at one point in time, and they said if this turns out to be a success, they would love to put in a bid for Mutant Hockey League.
Yes, so, please. Oh my God, I would die happy. Oh my God, I love that game.
That's just another another hopeful thing to do.
If I found that copy as I found Mutant Football League on Genesis at Mutant League Football on Genesis at just a mom and pop game shop for I think it's like $50. I went, yes, give me. If I find Mutant League Hockey at a mom and pop, I don't care what, I'm buying it. And those games were so much fun. I played when they were on my Sega channel. I played them all the time.
Good old Sega channel, run by not Mediacom, but TCI, something like that.
MCI back then?
TCI.
Yeah,
TCI.
Gosh, that thing barely worked.
The memories.
That thing barely worked, but when it did, it was great. Well, I don't think Justin will be joining us, so shall we get to our some horror games? Because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Horror games. Now, you and I both are not huge horror game fans, but we do know of them and can appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
I remember, the first time I played original Doom, being scared because it was I was a young child playing Doom for the first time, and here are these giant aliens in first person, giant mutants, aliens, monsters coming at me in first person view. Scaring the crap out of me. It was jump scares. Obviously looking back on it now, it's dumb to be scared by that because of what we're used to now. But back then, Doom was scary to me. Doom, it was hard for me to play Doom 1 as a child. Because it was just first person shooter and those things were massive. Like, I'll take up my whole screen. I'm like, oh, it's coming at me.
Doom wasn't as bad as Quake.
Okay.
I think I got scarred more about Quake than Doom in regards to first person shooters.
Sure.
And I don't think it helped that Trent Reznor had his hand across the entire soundtrack.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Again, good soundtrack for a game. That's probably one thing that made the game really good was the soundtrack. But I think I wasn't as scarred about Doom because it kind of reminded me too much of Castle Wolfenstein.
Sure.
Because if I can recall right, wasn't that the same company?
Yeah,
that did it.
Wolfenstein 3D and Duke Nukem and Quake and Doom. All right, that's all id. What is now Bethesda?
It's
What
Bethesda.
is
Yeah.
now partnered with Bethesda? But yeah.
I'd say probably the scariest game I would probably have to put in my library is probably I would say Sesame Street Count 1, 2, 3.
Terrifying.
For the I don't know what I was thinking when I was playing that.
That count will give you nightmares.
Oh my God! Oh no, Cookie Monster! Oh, when his mouth, when he was going nom 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 nom. No,
Cold sweats.
yeah, I know. Okay. I posted this story on Old School Gamer magazine, on the Old School Gamer Magazine.com website, under my blog of Keep Calm and Insert Coin, and I think I might have mentioned this last time I was on. I can give the story again. This is the story of Resident Evil, okay. And how this game basically scarred me for life. I was actually working at, I think I was working at Babbage's at the time. I love the name dropping. Babbage's was, it's now GameStop in Valley West Mall.
Right.
But it used to be a computer store. But
we all work at the same location because you were there and Dave was there. I would work there. Okay.
Dave was my manager at one time.
Oh my gosh, you guys are old.
Shut up.
When they went to GameStop, I went there after.
I was there. I was actually there when they were supposedly going bankrupt and they stopped getting shipments and the shelves were going bare. And then all of a sudden we heard, oh, well, this guy just bought the store and now we're going to be called GameStop.
Yeah.
So, that's quite a memory. But anyway, I digress. So I remember taking home Resident Evil because I was kind of curious about horror games for the PlayStation, and I was living at my parents' house, like I am right now. So I'm going to be doing a cooking show later.
There you go.
Yeah, I know, right?
One I prepared earlier.
I know, yeah, right. We'll do the turducken.
Yes.
So So I went into the basement, and at the time I had the TV hooked up, and I also had a stereo system hooked up with a surround sound. And it wasn't the best surround sound, but it was pretty good surround sound. I had a couple speakers in front. I had one big speaker and a couple in the back. And I popped in the Resident Evil, and I started playing the game. And it started raining outside. And I'm thinking, okay, nice. nothing to think about, nothing to think twice about. And I'm starting to play the game, and I saved the game. I got to the save point, and it started thundering outside. I'm thinking, and I'm not even thinking twice about what the heck is going on. And I start walking down the hall, down one of the hallways, and I don't know how this happened, but it all happened in a simultaneous factor. But I'm walking down the hall. The glass from the window breaks.
Oh, is it the dog?
It's the dog.
Yeah.
The dog breaks through. Considering I've got all this sound around me, sure. Surround sound, I think it was probably up to like 6 or 7 on the volume. And I think I only had up to the option of 10. But the dog breaks through. The music goes or whatever it was. Big flash of lightning outside. Big crash of thunder. Power goes out.
Ooh. And
I'm sitting there in a dark basement. I screamed like a little girl. I had never been so scared in my life. In fact, I threw my controller and I broke the controller. No, let me rephrase that. I shattered the controller when it hit the brick wall.
Sure.
Now, I was told that when I told this story, I had to keep my language clean. I really didn't want to keep my language clean. But I am doing that. I screamed like a little girl. It was the most embarrassing thing. I'm glad I was alone, but dang. I never wanted to play another horror game ever again. Um, Resident Evil 2, the only reason why I actually made it to the end of that is because my friend was playing it and I was kind of watching him. Volume was low, blah, blah, blah. He kept trying to finish the end. And that's the only part I played was the end because I finally actually figured out how to kill the last monster or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, Resident Evil scarred me for life. That's just like when I was a child, how a haunted house when I was a child and I went into a haunted house, they weren't supposed to grab you. But one of the creatures grabbed me, and I will never go into a haunted house ever again.
Sure.
Call me a wuss, but
Resident Evil is a fascinating franchise because people hold those first two in such high regard, especially the second one getting the remake. Everyone's getting excited about that. Obviously, Resident Evil 4, people say is the best one in the series. I think 5 went into more of the action shooter base. It really wasn't horror. It was just kind of like a thriller with some monsters but still kind of action stuff. 6 was crap. 7 got 7. I watched someone play through 7 on YouTube. That scarred me. I could never do that because I don't do horror games anyway. But Resident Evil 7, watching someone play that messed me up. So I could never do that. But obviously, when you think of horror franchise, you think Resident Evil, you think Silent Hill, you think of Until Dawn, which came out a couple of years ago. Big budget, good looking horror genre horror game. Dead by Daylight, they're putting all the monsters in there, kind of the asymmetric multiplayer game there. But
Alone in the Dark.
Alone in the Dark, yeah, thank you. I get scared. I get so jumpy. Like even when I'm playing Fallout, if like a big bug walks by, I freak out. Or like this, if the mutated monster comes at me. That's why I play in third person. I want to see more what's around me, and I don't want it in my face. Like if I play Skyrim, I'm playing in third person. If a spider comes at me in first person, I will freak. I will throw the controller down. I'll pull a U and shatter something and walk away. So I'm not a big horror person, but I do appreciate it. What's the one that Ubisoft did? Not Ubisoft, Bethesda. Bethesda did Evil Within.
Oh.
I wanted to play Evil Within 2 because it didn't seem like it was. It's the jump scares that get me. I hate the feeling of being scared. The heart goes in the stomach and you want to throw up. I hate that feeling. Like, oh, it's the rush you get. It's the adrenaline rush. Screw that. I want to throw up. I only want to throw up after I've been drinking, not when I've been playing games. So
now let me ask you something. Do you like the Alien series?
I do, and like, I will not play Isolation.
But like you'll watch the movies, right?
Well, I mean, at this point, they're old enough to where like it's worn off on me. Like the graphics are so, of that time period that it's not what it is now. But I appreciate the sci-fi aspect of it.
Okay.
Not the horror aspect of it.
Yeah, it's just like I loved 2. I thought 3 was meh, but I can never watch 1.
That's rough. It's rough.
But then I loved Resurrection just because I thought Winona Ryder was hot.
Sure. But no, like
that's scary.
Alien Isolation is a horror game in the truest form, and I cannot do it because I will scream, and it's not good if I scream. I watched someone play Resident Evil 7 in VR. I could not do that.
Oh my god!
I could not do that. That is terrifying to me.
So, it's harsh enough just to play it in one angle or in one view. To play it in VR is just that's brutal.
Yeah, throwing out games like Outlast. Those games are terrifying. I played Condemned: Criminal Origins on the Xbox 360 at launch. I couldn't do it. It was terrifying to me. I tried it though, and it was always terrifying. Fear. That first game was scary. The 2 and 3 was crap, but the first game was scary. I want to go into. I was going to mention Parasite Eve, Dino Crisis. Those games are pretty scary as well. Even still.
Dino Crisis.
Yeah, dude, just giant dinosaurs coming at you. It's like Jurassic Park, but it's just kind of a horror thing. More so Parasite Eve, because Parasite Eve is more of a Resident Evil. kind of thing than Dino Crisis was. But Dino Crisis scared me. Think about horror games on the NES. That was like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. They weren't scary because LJN made them. They were scary bad because LJN made them.
You know, Splatterhouse still has effects on me.
Yeah, Splatterhouse. That's a heck of a game.
Because it just, even though it's for what it reminds me of Friday the 13th, first of all. Mm-hmm. But I've actually had nightmares about that game. It's pretty sad because with the little mag things that come flying at you.
When I first saw Mortal Kombat in arcades, that freaked me out.
Really?
Because I was so used to Street Fighter. I was so used to. Again, because Mortal Kombat came out in arcades about 92. So I would have been 7 at that time.
Shut up. God. You're making me feel really old.
Welcome. But yeah, I was, still single-digit age when Mortal Kombat came out in arcades. And I was so used to Street Fighter and I think maybe Tekken even around that time as well. But
I was 18.
But when I see, like, real people taking people's spines out of that freaked me out. I'm like, that dude actually died. Like, someone actually had to go in there, like, because I had not seen behind the curtain yet. I had been. That freaked me out, and it did for the longest time. Even through like the first trilogy, I was very nervous about playing it because I was like, oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die. And I watched someone get murdered on my screen.
Nice. Love the pits of spikes.
Yeah. And I'm okay with it now, obviously. I love Mortal Kombat. But back then, obviously, if Justin were here, he's more the horror expert. But, it is Halloween, so I figured we would give it a little bit of love, especially with the new movie coming out. New Halloween movie is out.
I think the last horror movie I ever saw in theaters, how I got suckered into it was Scream 3. Or was it 4? How many Screams were there?
Too many.
Too many?
Too many.
I do remember throwing my popcorn down because the one scene where the ghost face was at the front in the driver's seat or whatever, and they were trying to see what was see the face, and like the horn honked, and I slammed my popcorn down because I was scared. I don't know how I got suckered into that one. That really wasn't horror. That was more of thriller than anything else.
Sure.
But yeah, I just can't do horror. I was actually asked to participate in a horror movie, and I was just like, I
gotta play a zombie once. It's actually a lot of fun.
I just can't do it. Brains.
We will. We'll probably talk more horror stuff when Justin comes back. But before while we take this home, I do want to bring up what's coming out in November. It's the last week of October, so we are another month into Q4. So I'm on Wikipedia talking about what games are coming out in the month of November. We inch closer and closer to Christmas, which means we are still into the holiday releases. So right now, kind of the highlights for me. November 2nd, we get Diablo 3 Eternal Collection on the Nintendo Switch. So Blizzard finally bringing Diablo 3 to the Switch. Not only is it important because Diablo 3 is a hell of a game, but also I think this paves the way for putting Overwatch on the Switch or the upcoming Switch Pro, which makes me as an Overwatch fan extremely happy. Also, November 2nd, we get Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun on the Switch. This is the Taiko Drum Master Series. So Taiko drums are coming to Switch and PS4 that same day as well. So as a drummer, I love Taiko Drum Master, so I'm happy about that.
Do you think they'll have accessories for that?
I would imagine so.
I mean, I'm sure they will for the PS4, but not for the Switch.
Maybe some like Joy-Con accessories, maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
November 6th, we get The Forest, which is a survival game that's been on PC for a long time, coming to PS4. I also get the PS4 game Omen of Sorrow. Worth noting because we actually interviewed the developer, the man himself. We interviewed him at EVO and got to play some of it at EVO. I think that interview is still in Dave's SD card. That might be loaded up to YouTube here very shortly, but it looks really cool. We got a chance to play some of that, and if you like a Castlevania-style fighting game, Omen of Sorrow is going to work for you, because actually it is a lot of fun. Also, Overkill's The Walking Dead game. Overkill is the company that does Payday, and they're putting The Walking Dead together. Also, November 6th. November 9th, Tetris Effect on PS4. Like your Tetris is coming out, a new version is coming out November 9th. They're also running a beta from November 1st through the 5th on the PS4. Want to check that out. There's a beta of Tetris Effect coming out soon. November 13th, Hitman 2 on PC, PS4, Xbox One. I can't wait for Hitman 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also that same day, SNK 40th Anniversary Collection on the Switch.
I cannot wait.
That's going to be great as someone who was an SNK Neo Geo fan. Good stuff on that collection.
Here's the thing. I'm praying. I have not looked into the details on that yet. I don't know if there are details for it, but I just years ago they something like that for the PSP.
Right.
And they basically threw all of the games one disc.
But didn't they make one and then never make the second one?
Trying to remember if they did that. Capcom did two. They did two of them.
Yeah.
Capcom did two volumes, and Midway did, I think, like 3 volumes. I'm trying to remember if SNK did 1 or 2 volumes, but they put a lot in there.
Well, I'm on the
Switch.
the site right now, and I've got there might still be some to be announced, but right now it's Alpha Mission, Athena, Crystalis, Akari Warriors, Victory Road, Akari 3: The Rescue, Guerrilla War, POW, Prehistoric Isle, Psycho Soldier, Street Smart, TNK3, Vanguard, is that Chopper 1? Fantasy, or maybe Chopper or something. Fantasy, Munch Mobile, Sasuke vs. Commander, Time Soldiers. There are some free deals. That's part of the free DLC bundle. That's kind of what's on there right now. So kind of the old arcade stuff on there.
It's none of it's actually Neo Geo related.
Right. This is all like old school SNK stuff.
Yeah. But still, that's okay.
Yeah, I was hoping for like a Neo Turf Masters and Windjammers and Fatal Fury and stuff, but I guess this is more the arcade style.
Magician Lord and Baseball All Stars.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I loved. But yeah, the what is it? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's actually kind of give you all the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, PS4, Xbox One, also November 13th.
Mm-hmm.
November 14th, Fallout 76 on PC, PS4, Xbox One. I want to play this game real bad. November 16th, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee on the Switch. November 20th, Battlefield 5 on PC, PS4, Xbox One. I had that ready to go thanks to my EA Origins Access Premier account. I played the beta. It's fun. Also, November 20th, Wreckfest on PS4, Xbox One. I had the PC version, which came out earlier. This is the Flat Out people, and it's a lot of fun. If you like some Destruction Derby, some Demolition Derby, this is a great game. November 27th, Darksiders 3 on PC, PS4, Xbox One. The 28th will bring Artifact, Valve's card game, come to PC, Mac, and Linux. I think that's kind of the big stuff for the States in November. So I'm looking forward to Hitman 2, looking forward to Fallout 76, Battlefield 5, Darksiders 3, and Artifact. I want to play. I like a card game. I like good card games, so Artifact has my attention.
I would say the SNK. I've got a short attention span. I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why. But yeah, the SNK. I would say probably Wreckfest.
Wreckfest is fun.
I'm curious. I'm curious about Wreckfest, and I'm wondering what the Carnival Games is.
It's a collection of mini games that's been on everything. It's been on like the Wii and It's been on like it's been in VR. It's
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I've had that one. Forget that. I didn't say anything about Carnival Games. No Carnival Games.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. If anything else, probably that's probably it. Just a couple. Maybe Spyro, because I've always been a Spyro fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
He's,
October brought the big stuff came in October. I mean, there's still some big stuff
Yeah.
coming out this month, November, with Fallout and Battlefield and stuff, and Artifact being the big Hitman 2. But we got this in October. We got Black Ops 4. We got Red Dead. We got Soul Calibur. We got Forza Horizon 4. We got hit after hit after hit. So I think that's the big stuff's out, and then now we're getting closer to November and Black Friday. Like, I missed Assassin's Creed was October as well.
Yeah. Like, what more do you want? You know?
October was the best month of the year for sure. But let's
However, December is going to look pretty cool.
Yeah, December Run Away with Smash. That's gonna be pretty cool. There's stuff still to come. Don't get me wrong. Let's go ahead and take this thing home, Brad. So real quickly,
Okay.
Obviously we're gonna mention that I want to mention real quickly the Arcade 1-Up guys. Their machines are back in stock at Walmart. They recently had their retail launch, and it's doing well for them. And we have a good. So congrats on them for a successful launch, and hopefully it will bring forward more machines, more licenses. If you got a Final Fight machine coming out next year, hook me up, because I love some Final Fight and would love to have that arcade machine in my house. So people at Arcade 1-Up, we're big fans. We did a good interview. We are good working relationship here. We love you, so we'll hook each other up.
I see that company having a very serious problem coming up in the month of November. I see a lot of fights happening at Walmart for those machines.
Right, yeah. On
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Walmart, I've noticed, has had trouble keeping those in stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's great for somebody who has never had an arcade machine, and it's great for parents who want to expose their kids to arcades. Yeah. So it's
affordable too. Like it's $300.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get an actual arcade machine, you're spending maybe $1,000 on some of these machines, depending on how old they are, depending on what condition they're in. These are 60 pounds, first of all, so one person can carry it. You can go anywhere in your house or your apartment, and you can turn the volume off, so you can play it and not wake people. And it's you can sit down or buy a riser and stand up. It's just, this is the arcade experience we've always wanted, and has multiple games on it. Like, this is genius.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. A while back there was I don't know who the company was that did it, but there was a Williams version that was released, and you could only find them at Target. And they used, I can't remember what kind of wood they used, but it was really really light wood, really thin wood. It was almost about as thin as a magazine. Okay. And it was almost about as thin as a cardboard box side. And it just kept falling apart. But this actually, for a kid who wants to be exposed to video games, this is actually a little more durable.
Yeah,
I would say it's a little more durable. I have seen some videos of some people actually going in and kind of sprucing it up a little bit.
Sure.
They'll go in and they'll put an LED light.
Warranties.
Yeah, they'll go in and they'll light up the marquee to make it look like, when you go into the arcade. So, which is a really neat thing to do. So, but yeah, it's really neat on how it's put together, and it's great exposure. So I'm really impressed with it.
We got some hands-on time at Evo. I will tell you that these things are really good build quality. I was kind of beating the buttons to death a little bit because I was playing some Street Fighter, and so I was kind of playing a little harder than I normally do, and kind of testing it out a little bit. That thing can stand up to some fierce fighting. So Once I get enough of the funds, or if I get some friends with Arcade 1-Up, you guys, we love you very much. I would like to have one in my apartment for sure. That's definitely one I want to get.
Actually have the high score at the Walmart in Altoona right now.
There you go. Nice. Very nice.
So yeah, it's really
has been thrown.
It's really cool. But if you do have money, this is no disrespect to the Arcade 1-Up, because I don't know if I'm going to be on anytime next month, because we're at the end of October. If anybody is in the Midwest area and they're interested in actually purchasing an actual arcade machine or pinball machine. There is an arcade auction that's coming up. Am I allowed to plug this?
Sure.
Or is it too late? No? Okay. There's an arcade auction coming up next month, and it's being held at the Adventureland Park in Altoona, Iowa. And pretty much what it is we have people from all over. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I'm checking the date right now. Arcade.
We'll try to get some cameras there for NerdBacon. I know Dave goes a lot, and he keeps trying to get me to go, and I just have something to do, or I'm sleeping, or drunk. So if I have that day free, I want to go. Yeah,
he always shows, and then he leaves, which is kind of funny. He shows up for like maybe 5 minutes, and then he'll leave. It's give me 2 seconds here, and I'll find it. Because we have it, I think we have it on our site. Yeah, we actually feature the PlayStation Classic on our main site. Hold on, just 2 seconds here. Oh yeah, somebody actually mentioned Phantasmagoria. That's kind of out of the. Oh man.
Part 1 or part 2?
Huh? They were talking about part 1. Okay. I do remember that one.
Yeah.
How about Night Trap?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god. The game that got re-released last year.
Yeah. And that's that one's a doozy. That's just scary in itself.
Was it? A bunch of great arcade, and if you go before they open, they have everything on free play. So you can go in there and play the arcade games to your heart's delight before the actual show starts, which is kind of cool. So if you're in the central Iowa area, that's happening Saturday after Thanksgiving. You can at least see some really cool things out there.
I'll have the info in just 2 more seconds here, because I know he just posted it. Where is it? I tell you, modern technology. Where would we be without it?
What are you looking for? Just like where it is?
Yeah, I was looking for the auction. Arcade auction. There it is. Amusement arcade auction. There we go. Okay, so that one's for Easter Sunday. No, not that one. That was the last one.
Hey, while you're looking at it, do you want to plug Old School Gaming so we can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone here? And
yeah. And here's the magazine.
You've got, I'm going to give you, because we're going to run long, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, it's going to be kind of interesting to try to multitask, but this is our latest issue. We basically talk about the retro games. This one's actually covering. This is the cover is basically just like our Atari games. Sure. Midwest or hold on.
OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com is where you can get
OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com. We got some really good articles in there. In fact, we have an interview with one of the creators of the game Tron. It's a really good article. We also have another interview in there with Brian Conlon, who is the creator of the game Rampage. Sure. He also did Discs of Tron. We have a few other really good ones. Talk about the game or the song Pac-Man Fever and the origin of the song. Buckner Garcia. We talk about the Happy Meal toys and the fast food tie-ins. How they
It's awesome. Talk about in television. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Have you talked about that yet?
yeah. Last week I brought up that new Intellivision console thing, which is wicked. I want to know more about this because it sounds cool. If it sounds promising, but of course it's right now slated for 2020. We'll see if it keeps that date. Probably not, but as of right now, I'm interested in what this thing could be.
Let's see. We talk about from box office bomb to cult classic icon Super Mario Brothers, the movie 25 years later.
Look. It's a bad movie, but I enjoy it. Okay,
but it's a cult classic.
It is.
It's a cult classic. I mean, you can think about horror picture show.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, or are you too young for that?
I've seen Rocky Horror. Of course I have.
Okay. Because I mean, so for some people it's it's probably one of the worst movies ever. However, it's a cult classic. You just can't go wrong with it. Army of Darkness. By the way, did you hear they're canceling Ash versus the Evil Dead on? Can't believe they're doing that. But that's kind of crappy. But but they're also they're also canceling Gotham. But that's another story. Let's see. Let me see if this came through here. I apologize for this. It just I thought I had it. It's.
While you look, I'll plug it. So yeah, if you want to check out more of Brad's work and other contributors' work from across the country, oldschoolgamermagazine.com. You can get the magazine in your browser, PDF form for free. Of course, you can contribute actual monies to the site. You can get the physical copy as well, which has fantastic artwork. If you've not seen the artwork, if you're listening to it on the audio version, check out oldschoolgamermagazine.com and you can see the actual artwork on that. And that's the kind of stuff you want to have your actual hands on because there's some good stuff there for sure, either in PDF form or the actual physical subscription as well through Patreon.
And I found it.
Go for it.
Good cover. Thank you. So anyway, Midwest Arcade Auction is going to be Thanksgiving weekend. It's a Thanksgiving weekend tradition, November 24th, 2018. Basically, you just come to Altoona, Iowa. It's just outside of Des Moines, and it's actually at the park in the pavilion. You come play, shop, and shop auction style for the classic and newer arcade video games, pinball, jukeboxes, dartboards, much more. If you have your own machines and you want to sell them, you can come there and sell as well. There's like a $10 entry fee plus $10 or 10% commission. But basically, you go and you can test the games. It's they're as is there, but some of the games they work as brand new. They're
it's
sometimes
not a junkyard. I mean, people
no,
hear as is. They go, oh, it's just junk. No, these are actual, fully functional, working. Some in better condition, but they're good quality machines.
Sometimes they're. One time we had maybe close to 750, and one time we had close to, I'd say 1,500 machines. Wow. And in the junkyard, we probably had maybe 7, 8 in the junkyard. The other ones, basically work. I mean, they have the touch screens, they have pinball, they have the gun games, they have the Golden Tee golf, bowling, everything. The Neo Geos, you name it, Space Invaders, Dragon's Lair, Star Wars, everything. So there's the ticket redemption or the prize redemption, ticket redemptions. The jukeboxes there. It's a lot of fun. It goes for a couple hours, but it is. Let's see. My ex-wife picked up a foosball table for $1 in the end, and I picked up a machine for $50 one time. I was told not to pick up a machine, a certain type of machine. It was a big marquee machine,
right?
And I still picked it up. She wasn't too happy about it.
Of course not.
It didn't even fit in the garage. But the pinball machines are really nice there. There's some junky ones and there's some really good ones. So you'd be surprised what they have there. So they even had Do you remember the game Time Traveler? It was from Sega. It was the first holographic machine. First
familiar.
holographic. It was just like Dragon's Lair, but it was holographic with a Western guy.
Break stuff on my yes. That game's horrible. But yeah, so you had to travel through time, and you had to like hit right or left at the right time, or else you would die. Yeah,
Up, down, or shoot. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that game sold for close to $700 or $800.
Wow.
So, oh yeah, you'd be surprised with it. And you know, some games will sell for $1. Some games will sell close to $3,000-$4,000. It just depends on the
rare stuff. The Laserdisc games too will sell for a pretty penny. But yeah, it's happening here in about a month or so, and I think if we can, we'll maybe get some NerdBacon presents out there. Maybe we'll get some cameras out there if we can't just kind of just film the area and kind of just get our reactions to stuff. But let's take this thing out of here, Brad. So go ahead and quickly go ahead and finish up and plug yourself about Old School Gamer Magazine.
Absolutely. OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com. That is what we are. We do retro gaming news, and we've got lots of information. And like he said, it is a free digital subscription online. And if you'd like to have the paper copy sent to you, it is a bi-monthly magazine. It is $30 for 6 paper copies to be sent to you. And hopefully we'll have Dave back here. Forgot about the poster.
That's $5 a magazine, people. $5 per magazine.
$5 magazine. Check this out.
And the poster.
Check this out.
Look at that.
Yep. I missed this though. This was this past month.
Sure.
This was the we had David. This was the Galaxies of Gaming Video Game Hall of Fame. We had David Crane, Warren Davis, Michael King, Joel West, and Carrie Swidecki. So.
David Crane is the big name on. Okay, David Crane is a legend. Because he made Pitfall.
He made Pitfall and Laser Blast.
Yeah. He's got many claims to fame for sure, but Pitfall is the one people know the most of. But yeah, next week we hopefully will have the full crew back. I know Dave will be back from vacation. I know he's bummed that he can't be playing Red Dead Redemption 2 like I am. He's very jealous of me, and screw you, Dave, on your vacation. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Justin will be back as well.
I'll go play
week.
Overwatch.
Yeah, I need to play some Overwatch because that the holiday event is ending like tomorrow. So I should probably get in that and maybe get some of those skins, but we'll see. I may not be able to play it, which is a bummer, because Overwatch League starts in February. I'm very excited about that. We'll may have a preview of Overwatch League, but Brad, my friend, you're always welcome on the show. We'll get you in whenever we can. But thank you so much for filling in while my cohorts slack off.
No problem. We'll see about getting Tim in next time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude! If we can get Tim Kittredge on this podcast, I would be your best friend forever.
I'll try. I'll get in touch with him and see what we can do.
But thank you all for watching or listening. I am Jeff, a.k.a. Jeff Roth with NerdBacon.com. We'll have Dave and Justin back next week. Brad Feingold from OldSchoolGamingMagazine.com. Thank you so much, my friend. We'll fit you into a show here in the not-too-distant future, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for listening and watching. We'll be back here, same Bacon time, same Bacon channels, next Tuesday with the full crew. Until then, remember, game tasty. We'll see you next week. Bye!